Hello, what's up? It's your boy, Skinny P. I've done a bit of traveling before. I went to Montreal last year and had a pretty good time, but I'm still a newbie when it comes to Canadian culture, and Montreal was just the first step into exploring the rest of Canada. So what a better place to visit than Toronto, baby, Ontario's capital city and the fourth largest population here in North America.
Each time when I come here, I am abused.
I went on this trip with my brother and met up with my friend Elham in the city so that we could explore what the Big Smoke has to offer. So join us as we continue to explore the wonders of Canada. It's 6 a.m. and we finally reached Union Station, a massive transportation hub located south of downtown Toronto. We weren't going to meet up with Elham until 9 a.m. since he was driving from Midland, so while we waited, I explored the rest of Union Station to see what there was. Honestly, there wasn't really much to do, but I did find that there was a park on the next floor, so I found a set of escalators that led me up to there, and it honestly felt like the doors were going to get locked behind me, so I just stood by there. I was not going to let my first day here in Toronto be me getting stuck on this roof. After figuring out what to do, we ended up going to a day hotel nearby the station. It also started to rain, which was fun to say the least. My brother injured his leg a few days ago, so he'll be resting at the hotel till our baseball game, since the stadium was nearby. But the game wasn't until 3 p.m, and I was getting pretty hungry. So I called an Uber to make my way down to Wilson Station, since that's where Alan parked his car, and he introduced me to Gamachan. Afterwards, we went to have breakfast at one of my favorite places that I haven't been to in such a long time since I left Brunei. Jollibee. It's a Filipino fast food chain serving things like fried chicken and gravy, burgers, and spaghetti, with a history just as rich as its sweet spaghetti sauce. Humans had been stealing and eating honey for centuries, and the bees were not happy for that, which caused them to sue humanity for theft, ultimately leading them to the Great Bee Wars of the 70s. With the increase of violence between bees and humans, there didn't seem any hope for reconciliation. But in an attempt to create peace, our man Jollibee had something in mind. After countless experiments on different recipes, Jollibee was able to perfect his signature spaghetti dish. Now, spaghetti had been around for a while, and Jollibee had to do something different. So, that led him to use banana sauce in his spaghetti. This created a shift for the Italians, but, to everyone's surprise, it was a massive hit. Humans and bees were rejoicing with this new recipe, which quickly ended the war and led to a bee union where they would all be paid fairly for their work. This allowed our man Jollibee to retire in Santa Cruz, Manila in 1978, where he would open up his first restaurant. It soon became a hit in Asia during the 80s and the late 90s, soon expanding to different parts of the world in the late 2000s, where Canada would get its first branch in December 2016. This bee has the chicken by the balls internationally, and we are now seeing the rise in the bee epidemic. Sadly, there aren't any branches here in Ottawa, so when I found out that Toronto had a couple branches, I knew I had to try it out. We got our food, had a splendid time as we're hit with nostalgia, and once we're done, we said our goodbyes to Jollibee. See you again soon, my favorite bee. It's 9:30 a.m. and we still had a bunch of time to spare before the baseball game. But coincidentally, at 10 a.m., the Cricket T20 World Cup was happening. We wouldn't have any time to drive all the way back to Midland to catch the final, but I had a plan. Now, cricket wasn't really a popular sport around here, so it was a little hard to find places that would be showing the T20 World Cup. But after digging through some old Reddit threads, I happened to find a restaurant that would be happy enough to show the match. Hemingsway Sports Bar, a New Zealand-style bar located at 142 Cumberland Street. So once I told Elham my plan, we hopped on the TTC to make our way down to Hemingsway. Now, this was the first time I've ever been on the TTC, and compared to Ottawa's train, it is a lot wider. The cotton fur fabric type seats was an interesting choice, I will say, but honestly, not bad. We arrived at Hemingsway Bar, and after a few minutes of setting up the TV, the staff was able to get the cricket matches going at the bar. We ordered some fries because we didn't want to freeload at the bar till the end of the match. They were surprisingly good, a little salty, but very nice. As the game went on, it looked like South Africa was going to win, but after a few hiccups towards the end of the game, they ended up losing the final. Indeed, it was definitely a big loss. Alright, it was time for the main event of the day. After we paid for our food, we made our way down to Rogers Center where we were gonna watch the Blue Jays versus the New York Yankees game. My brother was already there, so we met up with him and headed right into the stadium. And it was huge. I've never been to a game before. This was my first time in a stadium and the vibe was amazing. Bright lights, people cheering, the smell of beer and hot dogs filled the halls. This was another level of experience I'd never felt before. Our seats were also pretty decent. They were the cheaper ones, but we had a good view of the pitch as well as a big TV. I posted a picture of the stadium on my story, not thinking too much about it, but shortly later, I noticed one of my other friends had an oddly similar post on his story as well. I messaged him and it turns out he was at the same game as me, so once the game slowed down, we got up to meet each other. It was great catching up with him, but I'm sorry man. I had other things to worry about. The greatest match was happening and I couldn't miss it. This was the first and potentially the last time I'll watch a baseball game in a while, so I had to make sure I got every bit of our money's worth. The Blue Jays got a home run, the Yankees were losing horribly, I was so engaged, nothing could break me. Not even the dancing bird was enough to break my focus. That was until,
Oh, no way. Ain't no way. Oh! What the fuck? What?
Yeah, we pretty much left after that. The Blue Jays was way ahead in points and it was getting late and we also had to drive back all the way to Midland, so this is probably a good time to just leave the game now. As we left the stadium, the rain cleared up and the weather was sensational. Truly a beautiful day it had become.
1-0. Swinging a line drive, looping down the right field line. Air ball as he just sneaks inside the shot.
Wait, so what's this
Torres
one?
rounds first, but
If Jays wins this game,
We snapped some nice photos of the CN Tower and afterwards got back to Wilson Station where Elham parked his car. I got one more final view of the area and we made our way to Midland. We leave downtown Toronto and make our way up to Midland where we'll be staying at Elham's place for the first night. It was about a 2-hour drive and I was half asleep, but every now and then I'd catch a really nice view of the drive and honestly I knew we were protected because we had Gamma-chan. We finally reached Elham's place and I got to meet his parents after a long time. It was really sweet meeting with them after so many years, but I had completely forgotten he had another family member in the house. These two cats are so adorable. Here's Waffles, here's Udon. They're lovely. Udon's a little bit more scared interacting with us, but Waffle loves just being around us to get affection. After dinner, we decided to watch some YouTube videos to unwind before we headed to bed. Elham introduced us to this YouTuber, and he is amazing.
And,
Yes.
Pungent
Yes.
in the sense of having a lot of flavor. And the beef, none of these balls actually have a lot of beef in it. And they're really, once I bite into it, it really wants to fall apart, these balls.
The way that he's able to describe the taste of food just through his words kind of makes you almost feel like you can taste the food yourself.
Other element, egg and carrots, I don't know exactly what's in here, but it all contributes. They all add something to the assemblage. This this medallion of gimbap, as it were. Nothing is superfluous.
Honestly, phenomenal. Please subscribe to Volblonsky. He's amazing, and I love his reviews. The next morning, we get ready to head out to the farmer's market, but before doing so, Elham introduced me to dry scooping.
I'm scared. What, just dump it in your mouth? Yes.
We walked around the farmer's market and it was very nice, very wholesome. Elham got a couple of duck eggs, so that was pretty cool. And there was this restaurant with a funny name. I loved it. Afterwards, we made our way down to Midland Harborfront, which was very chilly at the time. There wasn't much here either. We did notice a boat that mentioned that it was diesel powered, so heck yeah, brother. Once we enjoyed the view, we made our back home to Elham's place so we could get ready to go back to Toronto. So we said our goodbyes and we were on our way back. Here's a couple more cat videos. Ooh boy, this was rough. Everyone decided to go back to Toronto at the same time as us, and we were stuck in traffic for a really long time. Oh, what's that, Google Maps? We'll be at our hotel in 18 minutes? You've been saying that for the past 30 minutes. Whatever. We at least had Gamachan to keep us company. I will say waiting in traffic wasn't completely terrible. The scenery was beautiful with the grass waving in the wind, planes flying above us, and cool ads that we saw along the way.
Oh, hell yeah.
Half an hour.
Oh, man. Oh, wait, no.
Once we got out of that hellscape, we finally arrived at our hotel. Which, honestly, not bad. My brother had to rest his leg again, so Elham and I decided to make our way downtown to check out Eden Center. I also had another friend that lived near the area, so I hit him up so we could also meet up with him. But we couldn't just leave the hotel without checking out the amenities. So before we left, we made our way down to the gym so we could get a quick pump in.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Downtown in the big smoke, baby. Whew, you can't get any better than this. Who needs to go to New York when you've got one right over here? But God, was it busy. Pretty sure there was a parade going on, hence why there's so many people here. The actual center was pretty wide open, so it wasn't too difficult to navigate the area. We went down a path where we found this cool looking claw machine arcade, so we went in there to see what it was all about and happened to meet two handsome gentlemen there. After that, we made our way to City Hall to find my friend. Once we got to City Hall, there was another massive event going on there. It seemed like everything was happening today. It looked like a concert was going on and there were a bunch of food trucks in that area. After a bit of walking around, we finally meet my old high school friend back from Brunei. It's been years since I've last seen him in person, so it was great catching up with him. We took a bunch of obligatory tourist pics in front of the Toronto sign, as one should, and decided to walk towards Chinatown to explore more of downtown Toronto. Honestly, there really wasn't much going on around here. The walk itself was really nice, and we passed by a couple of vegetable places which smelled exactly like how they did back in Brunei, so Elham and I were just hit with a bunch of nostalgia. However, there was one place we were kind of excited to go check out. New Hoque.
Me and my family, Crody. Someone go bleed in your family, Crody. I be at New Hoque eating fried rice with a dip sauce and a bloody.
So awesome. We kept walking till we reached Kensington Market. This place was so lively, so homey, just like a little neighborhood with its own community. There was a fire show that was going on one side, and on the other side there was this cool looking plant car. That was pretty sick. We started to get a bit hungry, so when we saw that we were near this taco place, we had to go check it out. It seemed like they were about to close just looking at the time, but when we walked in, it looked busier than what we expected, so I don't think they were closing anytime soon. After we tried the tacos, which were delicious I must say, we were still a little bit hungry, so we went through our list of where we wanted to go and found a restaurant that wasn't too far from here. We waited for the tram, but unfortunately never showed up, so we just ended up calling an Uber. We got to Loga's Corner where we wanted to try out momos. It was a tiny restaurant, but there was a bunch of people waiting for their food, so we knew that this place was going to be good. We got a couple of beef and chicken momos for takeout, and while we waited for the rest of the food to show up, we did a little quick food review.
Do it. Do it. Oh yeah.
Good?
Damn.
Once we secured the bag, we started to make our way back to the hotel. But we still wanted to try the tram. So we tried waiting for it one more time to see if we could actually catch the tram this time. And wouldn't you believe it, it actually showed up. It was wonderful, fantastic, sensational, might I even say, phenomenal. Truly an exquisite experience. Okay, if I'm being honest, it kind of feels like the OC transport here in Ottawa, but we parted ways with my high school friend, and Elham and I went back to the car to drive to the hotel. But we made a quick pit stop at a gas station where we were fed some propaganda.
They show ads at gas stations now? What is this shit?
We finished off the rest of the momos at the hotel and we called it a night. It was our final morning here in Toronto, so we said our goodbyes to Elham, and my brother and I made our way down to Union Station. The drive itself was lovely, honestly. The sun was shining and the view was breathtaking. Remember when I said Union Station was a massive transportation hub? Yeah, I didn't realize how massive. It was raining on our first day here, so I didn't really catch a good glimpse of the building, but oh my god, the architecture is like crazy. But I mean, that could also be due to the really nice weather. The interior was just as intricate. Really a cool building for a transportation hub. Once we got on the train, my brother and I kind of just rested since we were still pretty tired. But every now and then when I got up, the view outside was beautiful. And within 5 hours, we were back in Ottawa. And that pretty much sums up our entire trip to Toronto. Honestly, I had a great time there. I really wish we got to do more downtown, but I'm really happy we got to see a baseball game and walk through downtown. I think my initial list coming to Toronto was a little bit too ambitious, so I'm gonna definitely have to come back here again to get through it more. Which, funny enough, I already did earlier this year. I might do another video, but I honestly just took photos this time and we actually got through a lot more than we anticipated, so I'll see what happens. I might take another 5 years to make that video, so make sure you're subscribed so you can see when that video comes out. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you next time.